Welcome back to Arcturian Philosophy. I know I've been gone for a little while, but I really didn't have too much to talk about. So I came up with an interesting topic for today, and that actually has to do with smart dust. Now, I will also go into this in the presentation about the appropriateness of the discussion. I created a presentation. So without further ado, I will read from my presentation. Now this is titled Smart Dust Exposed. I survived, and so can you. Some of you may have heard of what is termed smart dust. Because these topics involve fear, I would encourage you to not watch if you are highly prone to anxiety and paranoia. It is this exact obsessive, fearful paranoia which the dark relies upon to further their nefarious agenda. It is even debatable as to whether or not I should provide this information at all, as it detracts from the pure light and love information. I asked my Arcturian family, and they reminded me that in every moment I could not go, quote, wrong, as the soul will always attempt to steer us onto our higher path, our soul stream they were referring to. I explained to them that I wanted my message to be one of triumph and not of fear when faced head-on with smart dust technology. They admitted that focusing energy at all towards the smart dust technology works in the opposition's favor, but had it not been for others to post stories of their own involving dark topics, I would not have known how to defend myself to survive like I have today against dark attacks. This is a timely topic, given the interest in the September 23rd, 24th, 2015 event, whatever that event may be. Finally, we agreed that my message, if given carefully, could serve to help enlighten those who are unaware of this technology or who believed it to be a hoax, while emphasizing triumph of the light. First, I will overview what smart dust technology is. When I was first exposed to it, I had never heard of it, or smart dust at all. All I knew was that deadly gases and fumes were literally following me, attempting to settle wherever my physical body was located. I never mentioned in my other videos that the toxic gases were actually following me, specifically while leaving others alone. At the time, I had no idea what to make of it and assumed it was advanced ET technology of some kind. In a nutshell, smart dust involves tiny, near microscopic sensors spread into the environment via chemtrails and other modalities. From different sources, I have also read that these smart dust sensors, alongside HARP, can, quote, dial in to your personal electromagnetic signature. This then allows very small, quote, smart particles of numerous substances such as carbon monoxide or nerve gas, which is what I was harassed with, nearly to the point of death, to be targeted at you specifically while leaving other citizens untouched. I often wondered how it appeared that my entire apartment complex back where I used to live was being gassed with all kinds of toxic substances, yet I was the only person to be affected. I realized before my escape that the gas particles were actually specifically targeting me and would literally follow me, but I still didn't understand how the other residents were not affected. It was probably 8 months later that I learned about smart dust technology. I was harassed for a good 6 months over 2 different states by this specific technology. Yes, the damning thing about smart dust is that regardless of where you run, it is programmed to sense your energetic signature and follow you. Running is not the answer. I suffered near kidney failure and diabetes more than once and was regarded as an angel of some kind by my CIA captors when I survived miraculously on so many occasions. As Cryon would tell me, Krista, you are here to show the glory of God, and that none of these weapons of darkness will ever prevail over the oncoming light. Reptilians of lower subspecies were also involved in holding me captive while taking on a human form. And if you are not aware, many of them are religious. It's part of their culture. Cryon told me, without signs and wonders, they will not believe. Your sacrifice at their hands is to proclaim the glory of God. You are here imprisoned to show them the light. Just as Jesus endured the cross for the glory of God's kingdom, your deep personal suffering and sacrifice is the only way they will believe and understand that the light of God cannot be stopped, and it is the only true way to save themselves. They believed I would die many times, yet I was always miraculously resurrected. Eventually, all the smart dust attacks finally left me, which had to do with me raising my personal frequency, ultimately severing and dissolving a contract I had unwittingly made with the Greys. This brought all harassment to a complete halt, and I give thanks for being alive every single day. If you ever find yourself an unwitting victim, that is, an unwitting co-creator of smart dust harassment, or attempts on your life via toxic gas, employing smart dust technology, I will now share with you some practical survival tips from what I noticed firsthand as to how smart dust operates. When I realized the gas was, quote, following me, it always appeared that the gas would settle in the space of my body, extending 3 or so feet in each direction, as if to encompass my aura, which I cannot see, by the way. Remember, smart dust operates off your personal electromagnetic signature frequency, which includes the space your aura contains. I discovered that the smart dust gas only afflicted my immediate space, and by sitting up and walking only 3 feet, to find it gone. However, another minute or so, the particles would follow me to my new location. Now, how to survive smart dust gas attacks? Number 1 is to keep moving. Sit in a location until the gas catches up to you, move 3 feet, and repeat this procedure. You must keep moving and attempt to place yourself near a strong wind or fan in order to sleep, if you feel it is even safe to sleep. While moving constantly out of the way of the gas will help minimize exposure, many victims of this realize quickly that they cannot outrun it. They need a miracle, which I realized too. Now, also, assess your entire situation, whether about to die in your own home or stranded as a refugee in the desert from these attacks, or whatever predicament you found yourself in. Ask yourself what beliefs you must be holding to create the situation, as you hold all the creative power, and they are relying on you to perpetuate your own cycle and create your own death. Realize this, that you ultimately hold all the creative power, and the tables are likely to turn in your favor. Remember that you are an extraterrestrial master on Earth. Once I accepted the idea of death, the situation began to change in my favor. I realized that my fear of death would get me nowhere. It was actually not a fear, but more of a powerful resistance to death. And what we resist persists. I prepared to die there, unable to escape the smart dust, and I ran through my life's review. I could feel my Arcturian family there with me, ready to usher me peacefully into the light. They have come at numerous life and death occasions since last August 21st, 2014, when I was involved with the nuclear agenda. And they came to reassure me. We are here. We, the Arcturians, have come to take you home if your passing occurs now, for you are one of us and deserve a warrior's welcome home. One of the most comforting things they have told me is that now, no matter how I die, they will welcome me home with the phrase, "Mission accomplished." After August 21st, 2014, where I was involved with intercepting nuclear war, while I feel that I'm not finished here, they've told me that because of what you did for your planet, the decision you made on those days, your mission is accomplished. Not many humans can say this, they told me. Once I released resistance, stating, if this is how it will be, this is how it will be, I felt complete peace inside, and everything began to change. I was led on the path ultimately to my independence, though it did take a while. If you have been a victim of such attacks, or in case anyone else experiences this technology, I want that being to have the tools I had which allowed me to survive. None of this is intended to spread fear, only knowledge and awareness, which, as Teal Swan says, is the first step to correcting and changing a corrupt system. Her quote is, "Awareness is the first step." And that is the purpose of my message, not fear-mongering. To further abate such attacks, my Arcturian family tells me that I must project my unconditional love and the violet fire of transmutation at the dark entities. Very much like think of the violet flame of Saint Germain, stating, I send you unconditional love, ultimate forgiveness, and the violet fire of healing to usher you into the light. We must all do this by projecting the love and forgiveness of Christ. Often, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. You may also abate attacks, as I did, by seeking the help of a special healer in a sacred land, which ended all the smart dust attacks once and for all in my life. You may have a contract with otherworldly and or extra-dimensional beings you're unaware of, which has caused your subconscious agreement to undergo harassment of any kind, not only via smart dust. In conclusion, this is a message of triumph over the dark and not one of fear. Some of the best advice my star family and entities like Bashar promote is to follow your highest excitement, joy, bliss, whichever term resonates the best with you personally. For me, that's bliss. While we may be in the midst of a battle for Earth, at which many Arcturians play a lead role at the helm of the Ashtar Command, remember that we are beings of pure light and love. As humans, we're merely shadowed by darkness, the light obscured. Yet we remember our true natures, and the time is now, dear ones, to remember who we are multidimensionally aboard our ships, or our native planets and star systems, or our past lives on the earthly plane. The dark may try to frighten us, even frighten you, my precious viewers, by planning in your mind that I am demon-possessed. See my video response to this, and why I initially chose my extraterrestrial I avatar, which I am now seriously contemplating changing due to the current climate surrounding the quote all-seeing eye symbolism, because I have no interest whatsoever in supporting this in any way. Vibrations of fear might be projected towards us and seek to lead you away from the truth. Do not succumb to fear, and let your unconditional love prevail. Love is a power source. Cryon says this is something that will eventually be proven with science if you take a look at book 1. He elaborates on the mechanics of love as an energetic power source. Your love can move mountains, to quote Jesus of the Gospels, and is truly the ultimate in both furthering your personal quest and the ascension of the planet. In closing of this episode of Arcturian Philosophy, fear not the smart dust, HARP, chemtrails. Instead, send out your unconditional love into the magnetic grid of our planet. Send your love to the smart dust. Project your love out to our dying planet. Project your love to our dark adversaries, recognizing that there is no good nor evil. Send your unconditional love, stating that I understand that in this dimension of duality, I chose to represent light, and you chose to represent the darkness. However, I have decided to transcend all duality and ascend into the 5th density or dimension. Moreover, also send your unconditional forgiveness to all the entities and technology which may have tried to hinder or stop your ascension. For me, this involves forgiving my corrupt government who sought to assassinate me. This may not be so drastic and obvious for you in comparison to what I have personally endured, which is why this message is all the more powerful coming from me. I have even had psychic family members seek my demise after they were tricked by the dark to succumb to feelings of revenge. It is the same if a family member has sought to kill and or sabotage you for being an extraterrestrial ambassador of love. First, forgive yourself for any harm they perceive you to have caused them, and send them your unconditional love and the violet flame of healing. Sometimes we feel alone as ambassadors of love and light on this dying planet and feel overwhelmed. The Arcturians have taught me that we emissaries, Arcturian or not, are never alone. Fill this planet with unconditional love and forgiveness. First, forgiving ourselves for our old dark actions, and then forgiving all others with unconditional love and forgiveness for both them and for ourselves. This is what will continue to lead our planet as a beacon of ascending light, creating a planet that no longer appears to be dying, but ascending. The Arcturians are fond of reminding me of one of my favorite movie quotes of all time, from the movie Angels in the Outfield, starring Christopher Lloyd. The quote goes, "Even though you don't see us, we're always watching." Let this be your words of encouragement, as this is a message of triumph over the dark and never one of fear. Allow your heart to guide you, connected to the source of all that is, and you can never be deceived, even in the midst of perceived tragedy and persecution. Your heart will always be your guide. Never forget that. To close, the Arcturians provided a message here for me. With unconditional love and everlasting light from the Arcturians and your galactic family, know that we are always with you, including your human starseed family of which our dear one here, Andromeda, is an integral part alongside you all. Remember, even though you don't see us, we're always watching as your angels in your personal outfield. The time for you to remember is now. The Arcturians and your Galactic Federation family of light. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.